It's time for another edition of SIRE TV, Success in Real Estate, with your host, Robert Burke. Join Robert and his guests, some of the country's leading experts on real estate investing, as they show you how you can purchase properties tens of thousands of dollars below true market value. So whether you are looking for your personal dream house, a fantastic rental property, or you want to buy, fix up, and resell for profit, this is the show for you. Robert will also share his amazing networks of lenders who are loaning on real estate all across the country. Your financial success is just around the corner. And now, the host of the Success in Real Estate program, Robert Burke.
Welcome everybody to another edition of SIRE TV. It's great to have you here. I think we've got a great show. It's going to be very informative and again, I hope a little bit entertaining. I want to get right to it because we've got a lot to cover. Our first two guests of this show, first is Zach Steinberg from New Western and Ron Spencer, who is kind of his client. Welcome guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Zach, tell us a little bit about how long you've been in real estate and a little bit about New Western and what it is that you guys do.
Well, I've been in real estate all my life. I come from a third generation family of realtors. I've been with New Western around 2 years. And what we are is a full service real estate investment brokerage. We find properties, we sell them to investors, we can recommend contractors, we can also recommend financing, and we can also help them with the exit strategy if they're looking to sell the property or rent it out.
Well, you know, on this show we talk about all different ways that you can make real estate. And, you know, we talk about from doing it from the start to the finish. You guys are what I call, kind of refer to as wholesalers. You have a knack, you have this gift of being able to go out and find properties at well below market price, and then you deal with people like Ron. Ron, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Who basically have full-time jobs or had full-time jobs, or maybe just don't have the inclination to go out there and find these deals. Maybe they don't have the gift that you guys do. Now, Ron, you've been involved in real estate for how long?
About 6 years.
And you've been involved in buying properties from New Western since when?
Since about 2009, I think was the first one.
Okay, so about 4 or 5 years with them. How has that experience worked? What's the real advantage that you find in dealing with a company like New Western or a wholesaler?
Well, I don't have to go and deal directly with the distressed sellers. So they find the distressed properties, get them under contract, and then assign them over or do wholesale double close to a person like me, the end user, the investor. And in my case, I am a landlord, so I rent these houses out. So, time, I guess, and good deals.
I mean, they do have kind of the gift to do that. You don't have the time, you know, to do it, or maybe you know don't really want to do that. So it's kind of a nice. It's really kind of nice to have those guys around, and you've developed this relationship with Zach. I'm sorry, David. I'm sorry, Zach. Forgive me. We're just talking about when you screw up, you just keep going, and that's been in my mind. Anyway, I apologize, Zach. So you developed this relationship with Zach and New Western, and it's been a benefit to you. I mean, how many properties have you bought from New Western since you started doing this 4 or 5 years ago?
Oh gosh, it's been a number of properties. I closed on my 17th deal, counting the ones that I've done for myself and my parents over the last 6 years, and the vast majority of those have come from New Western.
Now I want to get into kind of your philosophy, because it's a little bit different from others. Yours is more of you buy properties and fix them up and hold them, instead of selling them and flipping them like a lot of people do. And we had a lady on a couple of weeks ago doing the same type of thing. I want to get into that. But in the relationship that you have with New Western, do you use them exclusively, or do you do a combination? Do you find deals yourself, or you know, do you kind of depend more on them?
Well, when about 2008, when the economy kind of tanked, then you could find deals on the MLS that were good enough to justify being buy, fix, and rent. But eventually, we really had to go deeper. We had to go to the wholesalers to find the sweeter deals. And so that's why I turned to Zach and New Western in 2009.
Now, Zach, you find that pretty common with your clientele, the people that come to you and are looking to get properties from New Western?
Yeah, we find that all the time. You know, we service people that have day jobs that don't have the time to really hammer MLS and find the really good deals. And they call us up, and you know, we give them the opportunity to buy the properties on the spot. if they really want them, as opposed to, you know, hire a realtor, put out multiple offers, wait a few weeks, wait on financing. With us, if you want it, you can have it right there.
Now, you guys put out a list of your properties. Now, we have a lot of those properties are listed on the SIRE TV website. But you also form this relationship. If somebody finds a property, they meet with you. I mean, it's not just buying the property. They meet with you and you talk with them about their strategy, what they're looking for, because Ron's strategy is different from somebody else's.
Yeah, we, you know, sit down with each of our clients and really learn what they're looking for and, you know, how to best suit their needs. And for example, with working with Ron over the years, I know exactly what he's looking for. A lot of times some of my connections will call me with a really good deal that fits his criteria. I'll give Ron a call, we'll head to the property. He'll be the only one in the city that knows it's for sale, and we'll do the deal right there at the house.
So it's not only great that you have these properties and, you know, that are listed and people can see them, but you develop these relationships. And Ron, I think you'd have to agree that, you know, by developing that relationship, you've been able to get a deal maybe before anybody else does.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, we have one of the properties that you've done. We have a few pictures of it. I want to get into that and talk about that because I want to talk more about your strategy and how that works for you. But if we can, let's pull up this first property. This is a property that you bought from New Western. It's in Garland, Texas. Yes. It's on a street called Wordsworth, right? Okay. Now, we'll go through these fairly quickly, but as you see these up here, kind of tell us what we're looking at the back of the house here when you first bought it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go on to the next one. I think we've got some before. This is, what are we looking at here?
That's the kitchen before. It's got linoleum and some ugly wallpaper and not dated countertops.
It's pretty rough. I know we were talking before as we were going through these pictures, and these pictures are not going to really justify that, but this house was in pretty bad shape. You said that, Zach, that this was a HUD property. Yes. And was pretty tore up.
Yeah, it was vandalized and it was a government foreclosure and it was in really bad shape.
Now, when you saw this house, Ron, you know, I used to take my friends out and show them these kind of deals and they'd say, "You got to be kidding," you know, and I said, "Look, you're not going to go out there and walk into a house that's beautiful and be able to get it thousands of dollars below market price." So when you see a house like that, are you like me? You see the opportunity that's there?
Yeah, I start smiling because I see money. Yeah.
All right, now let's look at the next picture here. This is after. Boy, you did a great job.
Yeah, that house I actually put granite countertops and the undermount stainless steel sink. You see the fancy faucet there, stainless steel appliances.
Now you keep your houses for rental properties. You fix them up pretty nice. A lot of people would kind of skimp a little bit if they're going to keep their for rental properties. What's your philosophy on that? Why do you go kind of that extra mile?
Well, I was heavily influenced by Lifestyles Unlimited, and they preach the best product, best price. And so you want to attract good renters. And you want to have a good asset. You want to take care of your asset if it's making money for you.
Yeah, I think it's good. Okay, let's go back. I'm driving the guys in the control room crazy. This is the before picture of the living room, right?
Yeah, that was right after we started working on it.
Okay,
actually.
And this is another picture of the living room before. You can see the wallpaper tore and all that kind of stuff. And so let's see, I think we have one of the after of this, don't we? Okay, well maybe we don't. I apologize. Oh, okay, now we've got this, this is when we're talking, look at this house. I mean, this is unbelievable. This is the entryway and going up the staircase. This is the staircase. These are both befores. You can see everything. Mm-hmm. All right, now we do have one of this after. So you did a really nice job on this.
Thank you.
Let's talk about, because we just have a minute here, let's put it the slide that talks about the deal itself. Okay. You bought this is a house built in 1993. It's about 2,200 square feet. You purchased this from New Western.
For $87K, yeah.
Okay, walk us through this if you don't mind, Ron.
Okay, so the rehab was around $40,000. I got a hard money bridge loan, which is a very nice way to do it, especially if it's not a livable house like this one. You couldn't get conventional financing. So my actual out-of-pocket was much less than the rehab. It was about $22K. It currently rents, so I was all in for $127 approximately, the equity capture was about 100%, so the value is about $150K right now. It rents for $13.25, and so that's about a 23% cash
Pretty
on
good
cash.
Positive cash flow. You've got 17 of these houses, so basically it's allowed you to where you're kind of semi-retired right now.
Yes,
right?
yes.
I mean, it's a pretty good deal. I mean, you'd have to recommend, when you see something like that, first off, in kind of this approach, we talked about that. I wish I'd done this a little bit more and kept some of these properties myself, because now you're retired and you've got this income coming in, and I mean, it's a great relationship also that you have with New Western, and I'm sure it's a good one for both of you guys. I mean, wouldn't you say, Zach?
Oh, absolutely. It's great to have long-term clients, and I really pride myself in making them successful and having them come back to buy more.
Hey guys, I appreciate you being on here. I told you it'd fly by, I didn't lie. Again, Ron, it's great to have you on here. Nice to meet you. Zach, sorry I messed up your name there a couple of times. Great to have you guys on here. Look forward to having you back. We will be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere.
The SIRE TV program, brought to you in part by Appraisal Save, your half-price nationwide home appraisal service. Sherman Bridge, America's #1 rehab lender. National Real Estate Insurance Group, providing investors with the right coverage at the right time.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that first segment. I want to thank Ron Spencer and Zach Steinberg from New Western. Ron had a great story. We had one of his properties up there. This guy basically is now retired, started doing this 6 years ago, buying investment properties to hold, positive cash flows, making some good money. Had some great stories. I hope you enjoyed that. Have another guest here with us who's been on several times, good buddy of mine, always glad to have him, Matthew Elmer from the Real Alliance.
Hey, thanks, Robert. Good
Welcome back to the show, as always. So tell us what you've been up to here lately.
Well, we're just working deals and trying to help others work deals. We got some brand new student just called me the other day. They've got a brand new deal that they're working on. That's always my favorite part of the business is that new student getting their first deal. One
of the things we talked about that we want to do on this show is every time you're on the show, which is going to be pretty regularly, we want to talk about specific things so that people can basically learn something every time they're here. You can't teach them everything, and we want to talk about some of the programs that you have, some of the training, teaching programs that you've done that are going to be available on our website, SIRETV.tv, that we make available for people, because not everybody can come here to Dallas where you're based. We recommend that because of your mentoring program, and we've talked about that several times.
Yeah.
But we want to talk about some of the things that we're going to have up on our site that people who are around the country who are watching this can participate in. And the first one I want to talk about is this book that you wrote. Tell us a little bit about that and that story.
Yeah, so that was really exciting for me. The book's called Against the Grain, and it's actually co-authored between I and Brian Tracy. Many of your viewers will know who Brian Tracy is. Incredible guy, and was a mentor of mine early in my career as I was trying to learn how to be more effective in leadership and communication. And so the chance to be a co-author with him was huge. And what we've done is we've taken a number of entrepreneurs, myself and him and others, put them together and wrote a book about how to be successful even in a down economy. Now we're in an up economy right now. Things are working out pretty good, or at least a stable economy. And so what's awesome about this is that if you can succeed in a down economy, you can succeed in an up economy. And we've got all sorts of information, from key information around marketing to management concepts and processes.
So it's not just about real estate necessarily,
exactly.
About anything in general,
basically. It's really built for the business owner. And that's at the foundation of really everything we do. Is we want to teach people how to be business owners so that their real estate investing becomes even more successful.
Right. Well, and we have that book on our website.
Yes.
It's basically free. If somebody will pay with $7 shipping and handling, you send it out to them free, and they can get this book basically, and it's a great tool.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, just go on the site, they'll find it there, and we're excited to get it in their hands.
Okay, now tell me about this. We were talking about this, but I want you to explain it to me a little bit more and to our audience about this core REI audio training program that you have. It's there's 5 parts to it.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about a little bit of that, but tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so the training's basically broken down into, first of all, the power of real estate. And you and I kind of understand that. People that are watching the show, they're getting that. But I've made it really succinct and concise for those viewers that really want to understand, is real estate right for me or is it not? By listening to this training, they're going to really understand why they should be considering real estate. In fact, there are 6 keys as to why you want to have real estate working for you, and I'm going to detail all that out for them.
Will you tell us one of the keys?
Well, one of the keys is the opportunity for residual income. And if you think about it, where can you get money that comes in month after month? We call it mailbox money. Well, there's different companies out there that may talk about how you can create residual income, but there's nothing that will pay you residually like real estate.
Well, we had Ron on here just, right before you, and he was talking about that. I mean, this guy started in real estate 6-7 years ago, and now he basically is retired from his job because of that residual income that he's created from real estate.
Definitely. I'll tell you one other one because I got to bring it up here. And we've talked about it on your radio show, but I don't think we've talked about it here. It's the concept of leverage and the ability to leverage people, not just money, but people. In the real estate world, everybody's used to getting paid at closing. Well, you can leverage that to build your whole team, and everybody gets paid at closing. So, you can't do that in a software business. People aren't going to wait till the project's over to get paid, but you can do that in real estate.
You can't do that hardly in any business. I mean, if you're a painter, you go buy your paint, that kind of stuff, you got to pay for. I always find it amazing, and I got spoiled because of that, because I'd have people in other aspects of business, in other realms of business outside of real estate, and I would kind of expect them to do that, and they'd say, no, I get paid up front.
Exactly, and that's what I love. It's an easier conversation to have here, which speeds up the ability to grow quickly. Another thing we've added to that core REI training is what I call my 10+1 real estate investing successful. I was going through 10, and then I got to the end of the training. I thought, well, there's one more thing I got to let people know about, and that's going to really clue them in.
Now this is 10+1
real estate investing success killers.
Okay, all right.
What is it that has cost me not just tens of thousands of dollars, but I mean, I had one deal I lost $50,000 on, and I could afford that, but I don't want anybody to go through that. And so
it doesn't matter if you can afford it or not. It's still $50,000 you lost.
Exactly. In fact, I'll share with you one of the success killers. Sometimes we're out there investing, things start going well. We hear about people that need jobs, get people that know a little bit about contracting, and so you hire a guy that's a buddy of yours because he needs a job, and you pay him hourly, and you think, man, this is going to be great. I'm paying him less per hour. I should be able to get a good deal, and that was a mistake I made. It's a lot harder to fire your friends than it is to fire a hired contractor, and it ended up costing me a considerable amount of money because I kept letting that drag on, hoping that he would, come around and that really he would get his act together and listen to excuses, and unfortunately, my kindness cost me a lot of money. Now, would I have done it again? Probably not. Am I okay that the guy, made some money, got to a better place in his life? I am glad that I did that. And sometimes that's the great thing about having a little bit of money is that you can help other people. But don't let your real estate business be a nonprofit.
That's true. The other thing that I learned is a little switch from that, but it kind of goes along with that, is that I didn't want my friends to influence me, in telling me that I could make it or I couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I don't know, maybe most people do tend to be a little negative.
Yeah.
And that was something that I had to kind of stay away from those type of people. When I first got into real estate, I had to stay away from negativity. Yeah. Because it was all around me. Oh, and it was just like I found a select group of people who were like me, like-minded, were motivated to make this work. And we didn't talk about the problems, we talked about how we could succeed. Do you find that to be true?
Well, hands down. I think a community and support around you of people that know this works. And the only way to know it works is to be around people that are doing it. And I fought for years trying to get the belief in my head, and it wasn't until I got into a community that we created where everybody was supported that my success really took off to a level that it previously could not.
Well, and it's great about your mentoring program. We weren't really going to talk about that, but it seems like everything kind of goes back to that. It really does. And the fact that these programs that you have, and we have these available on our website. We're going to have these teaching and training tools. You can get the book on the website. You can purchase these. We give you a discount because you're a listener of this show that nobody else gets.
Exactly.
But it all comes back to to that mentoring program that you guys have, and having people around you who are positive. And like I said, I just was around so many negative people. I don't even know really how I made it. It's just I found a few people. I was blessed that I found a few people. I remember I'd have friends who would see me kind of driving a newer car and a nicer home, and I'd take them out and show them how anybody could do this. And they were so negative, their attitude, and they never did it.
Well, and did you ever get this? I always had the people saying, oh, well, when you succeed, then I'll get involved. Then I'll consider it. And then I succeeded, and guess what?
Yeah.
They still had excuses. And so you can't live around what other people are thinking. You got to make your own path. Actually bring it back to one of the trainings. One of the things that happens in that also, not only is the support, but the conversation. This is a different language, the real estate investing world. And so one of the other trainings in the core REI audios is a training I call Real Estate Investing Defined. Now, it's not just a glossary of definitions, because that would be boring, but rather I take these concepts, words like affidavit and addendum and amendment, and what do those things mean, and I use them in the context of stories and deals that I've done, so that someone can really not just hear the word and hear the definition, but compute how it is that it's going to relate to their business. So when they sit down with the seller and they're filling out an amendment or an addendum, they're going to be confident knowing what that is. And that, man, you put confidence in someone, the speed at which they succeed accelerates dramatically.
Well, I love that. I love the way how you guys do that, because your training takes things that could be boring, could be kind of mundane, but it's necessary.
Right.
Just every type of business has that part to it, and you take it and you explain it, you make it in a way that kind of comes alive to people.
Sure.
So anyway, again, I know we talk about there's so many things we want to cover and we just can't get to it all.
Sure.
But I want to remind people to go to the website, go to SIRETV.tv. We've got Matt and the Real Alliance's training programs there that you can get, special deals, special prizes. You can learn more about the Real Alliance there. Matt, again, thanks for having you on the show. As always, it's entertaining and very, very informative.
Great. Thanks, Robert.
Thanks, buddy. We'll look forward to having you again here in the next week or so, I would imagine.
Great.
Thanks, everybody. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
The SIRE TV program, brought to you in part by New Western, America's #1 source for investment properties. The Real Alliance, leading individuals to success through real estate investing.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show. As always, I hope you found it informative. I want to thank our guest, Matthew Elmer from the Real Alliance. Always a pleasure to have him on the show. We're kind of adding some new things when he comes on here, talking about some different things, different programs, different teaching, training tools. I think that that's very important. Whether you've been doing this business for a long time or you're just getting started. I had a letter from somebody this week telling me, I've been a real estate investor for a long time. What can I learn from a show like this? And it reminded me, I have a son who just turned 16. So he just started driving. And he's a great kid, and I'm so proud of him. But when we're driving and I'm driving, he has a tendency to kind of tell me what I'm doing wrong. And I realized that at my age, there are things that over a period of time, I've developed some bad habits. I don't turn my blinker when I'm changing lanes. I haven't done that for a long time, but when he's in the car, he lets me know about it. So, he's kind of my teacher in a sense. And as I was driving into the studio this morning, I was changing lanes and I turned my blinker on. I don't do it all the time, okay? I've gotten into this bad habit. It doesn't just change overnight, and there's a little bit of a rebellion in me, but I've started to do it because it is the right thing to do. And that's kind of the same thing. If you've been in this game for a long time in real estate investing, I think you'll learn something from our show. I think if you allow yourself, you will learn something from this show. I think, other people, I talk about this no excuses kind of attitude, because I really believe that we can justify anything. If you don't want to do this, I remember when I was kind of down and things were bad in my life, and it's happened several times, if I heard somebody talking about a success story or themselves of how they were down and now they were up, it really caused me to have two reactions. One was it would motivate me, and I would say, hey, I can do this. If they can do it, I can do it. But sometimes it even further depressed me because I was so low and here was somebody who was so high. And that was not their intention, but it just would happen. Sometimes things are so bad that was my reaction to it. But I've learned that we can just about justify anything in our life if we want to. I heard a story the other day about somebody who was saying, chocolate actually comes from cocoa. Cocoa is from a tree, which makes it a plant. So therefore, when I eat chocolate, I'm having a salad. Now, you can justify eating chocolate as eating a salad if you want to, but the fact of the matter, it's really not. I kind of like to think that way sometimes, and I'm sure you do too. But the fact of the matter is we can justify why we don't do something. The purpose of this show is to tell you that there are lots of different ways that you can make money in real estate. The Real Alliance, Matthew Elmer, his programs, it's a fantastic way for that person who wants to learn this business from start to finish. And again, you can go to the SIRETV.tv website and you'll see all these training programs that are there. You can learn more about them, kind of get a feel for them and what they have, and then decide if it's something you want to go further into. Their mentoring program, I'm telling you, it's the best. To be around people who are successful, it is the best thing. People who are like-minded, who are like you, who are striving to succeed in this business. You need to surround yourself with successful people. I promise you, that is one of the biggest keys to success. Again, I also want to thank Ron and Zach, who are our guests from New Western. Ron's got a fantastic strategy of buying properties and keeping them as rental properties. It's allowed him to retire from his job in less than 7 years. And New Western and their properties, be sure to go to that website again, SIRETV.tv, and you'll see all these properties that we have listed around the country from companies like New Western that are tens of thousands of dollars below market value. Tens of thousands of dollars below true market value. Go to the website, you're going to see those. Check it out every day because it changes. They're just fantastic deals. It's a fantastic tool. These guys know what they're doing. Again, go to our website, check out SIRETV.tv, learn about these properties, learn about these training programs, the free book that we'll send you from Matthew. No excuses, guys, no excuses. Until next week, God bless and continued success.
Thank you for watching the SIRE TV program. For more information regarding the contents of this show, please visit our website at SIRETV.tv.